it should benefit the people of Wajir. And right now we are in contention here whether there are negative effects because we don't have the research. Perhaps let's focus on what are the benefits. How do I benefit from chewing Mira? Apart from the business side, what are some of the other benefits?
In Meru,
nutritious.
where I come from and where I was born and where I've chewed a certain level of Mira, Mira has very many benefits in terms of, it has a cultural resemblance. When I got married, my husband had to bring Mira to my father. Once I was given that Mira and accepted it, then my father knew that I had started the process of getting married. So we use it as a marriage ceremony. Right. When we have an issue with you, if you're from Meru, and I offer Mira to you, I'm seeking reconciliation.
Okay. Customary, that's the customary value.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at the nutritive value.
Yeah. What are some of the benefits?
Let me tell you, in my committee, we requested a Professor Kibwage. He is a professor in Kabete, in medicine, and there's a school in the University of Nairobi. He has done a lot of research on Mira, which has not been published, unfortunately. He told us that there is a medicinal benefit in Mira. Mira contains amino acids, and that is where I want to go. Yes. It has vitamins. It has amino acids. These medicinal values, we want to extract them and really get to appreciate it, because all of us have been shouting from the rooftop.
Absolutely.
Even the issues that have been raised by Mheshimiwa, we are shouting from the rooftop. Let us agree that as a country, let us face the reality. Let us look at this crop and see our people have been chewing it. My grandfather, my grandparents, everybody has been chewing it. And they chew it up to today. I like the impression that is being created that we are just consumers and we sell.
So
we also eat much as we produce.
In a nutshell, there is no confirmed nutritional worth of Mira. That is what you're saying. It has not been established. I mean, no, it's not that everything we chew has such nutritional value. I mean, even packaged things, even Coca-Cola has no nutritional value, so to speak, as they say. So there is no determined nutritional value of Mira. Even though people will chew it the whole day, they're not benefiting in a big way. It's only a waste of time.
The evidence that we have received so far, there is nutritional value. What we are not able to tell is to what level it benefits the body. But the professor told us if we need to carry out further research, so that we are able to actually gauge the nutritional value. But in terms of social activities, customary impressions, it is of importance to the Meru community.
There's a question here from Frank Embu, says, I think Honorable Kajuju is just playing political survival tactics. We don't need any research to know if Mira is a drug because we see effects in our people. Mira is a drug, period. In fact, there's another one here from Demba. Says, I've seen married men leave home every day in the evening and come back late after midnight or in the morning. In the weekends, it's worse. How do you describe this? I'm talking of Mombasa, where I have lived since 1975.
Thank you. Out of we had asked Nakanda to give us part of the research that they had carried out. And one thing that was presented to us by the chairman, Mr. Mutudo, is a chart that shows the various stimulants that are used by people and even drugs. Alcohol is number one on that list with 72% effect on the body. Do you know the percentage that Mira had? 9%. Nice. Mushroom, the one that people love, has 6% effect. So if alcohol has 72% and it is legal to consume it, then Mira has 9%. What do you tell about that? The problem with our people, those who abuse Mira, is that as they partake of Mira, they drink beer. As they partake of Mira, they chew gum. That is why you talk about the dental effect. And then maybe there are people who don't clean up their teeth after that. So if you abuse anything, even this water, if you take it in so much quantity, it is going to have a negative effect.
Yes.
So we're asking ourselves as Kenyans, because no law has said Mira is a drug. That is one reality that Kenyans must come up to realize. There is no law. even that Psychotropic Act 1994 does not say Mira is a drug.
How come the consumption of Mira, as you say, is low at the place where it's found, where it's grown, in Meru? How do you explain that?
By the way, people in Meru chew Mira. Go to Isli. The largest population in Isli, as we speak now, they are Merus. And most of them are consumers and sellers of Mira. So it's not that we don't consume Mira, because I sit with my people and engage in the chewing myself. It is that we are able to regulate. To us, Mira is a social activity. So we consume Mira in the evenings when we are finished with the normal business of the day. So I don't know what happens with that now. If it's not regulated, then it goes the way my friend Mheshimiwa says. But in Meru, in Membu, I've not seen those issues.
Mheshimiwa, do people consume it because it's cheap, or yeah, I mean, we need to trace the origin of that habit, because if you're going to interfere with their social habits, there must be something that substitutes that, or that activity. It can only be replaced. It can't be done away with just like that. What is the origin of it? Why do people chew Mira? Is it because it's cheap, it's available, it's neighboring, it's grown in the neighborhood?
Yeah, why they chew, actually, as I earlier said, I've really not figured out that. But you know, from the time I was a child, I just wake up, people, everybody is chewing. So, and maybe your uncle, when you're at home, you see, you even think this is very normal thing, you know, people chewing every time. But you know, as Honorable Florence Kajuju earlier on say that whether the nutritional value of Mira, you see actually on the opposite, Mira fights your body nutrition because it kills your appetite. You cannot eat. Once you cannot eat, then you see your nutrition body, you know, your body loses a lot of nutrition. You cannot even take. Even those guys who are fast chewers, it creates a lot of sores and you know, and you know, bleeding in the mouth. So, but having said that, you know, the most unfortunate thing is that this now Mira debate and how even it's been crafted has actually forgotten the victims, which is actually said by people. And actually all that we are looking at is the business economic value and the political politicians, you know, like, you know, so who is even actually those victims? Florence Kajuju committee has not gone to Wajir. Maybe I will have wished they go to Wajir and actually look the extent of this,
the social and
the social and the health. Not only the social and the health, but even the economic burden. You know, the biggest asset that you have, I have, that Kenya have, is our human resource capital, is our people. And these things fight with that human capital. First, the small money you get that you'll have used to supplement your family bill, to buy food,
Go buy Mira.
You go buy Mira. So you see, the children are staying without Mira. Just to give you a small, you know, description. Now, the children will stay without food. And problem number one. And then when they stay without food, so you can imagine their nutrition and even their performance in school, because they don't have enough nutrients in their mind, their performance in school dies. They don't become that self-esteem. They are not taken care of well. They don't get enough clothing. So you see, in the long run, that child, because the father is busy buying Mira, the money with Mira, he will drop out of school. So he drops out of school, and we have dropouts and dropouts. Can you imagine the kind of country that we, you know, look at the region. Mira actually can lead to school dropouts, is leading to malnutrition, is leading to, wait a minute even, wait a minute. Even that, what happens is when the mzee buys the money he gets with Mira, and then he comes to his wife, and he 2-3 weeks he says there's no bill, he used the money for Mira. The wife will even actually fight with him, and actually the family breaks up. The family can break up. It can even lead to divorce and separations because the guy is not taking care of his family. And so when the family breaks up, you can imagine what happens to the children, what happens to the family. Is disintegrated. Can you imagine that? And not only that, Makali, before you interject, the economic burden also is further translates. You know, like alcohol, which in my religion as a Muslim, alcohol is highly forbidden. Actually, we are not told in the Quran, we are not told don't drink alcohol. We are told, fajtanibu, go far away from it. Go far away from it. But even that alcohol, we are told go far away from it, and indeed actually we go far away from it, is actually sometimes when you analyze, is actually better than Mira. Because look, alcohol somebody will take from 2-3 hours, from 8, 10. The Mzee goes home 10 and joins his family. This Mira, somebody takes from 7 to 7. So you see, it does actually
stop. Don't carry this bottle. Leave it here.
Yeah, Mira, you just even they wrap it here. You see now the problem. When you do that, the money you have used to buy Mira, so you know it's like economic burden. 2, this guy chews Mira the whole night. Tell me in the morning, like you are here early in the morning, 6:30. Will he go to work? And I know of people even because of their Mira habits have been sacked from, you know, from.
But before even you stop there, is this just a minority view? How popular is your viewpoint?
But you know,
you come from Wajir, but you know you cover a whole area, northeastern, Garissa, Wajir, Mandera. Is this a popular view, or is this a solitary? But
you know, as a Somalian coming from Wajir, the whole of Wajir is already minority.
Yes.
So it's the minority view, yes, because
the people minority in terms of the people that you represent, Somalis, the consumers. Is this shared in Garissa? Do they think the same? Do they think the same in Mandera? Or just this is your Wajir constituency?
No. The entire Garissa, Wajir, Mandera, even parts of we were just hearing one caller from actually Mombasa, and actually even maybe there are 2 guys writing from Embu, from everywhere, and even from Cielo and Moyale. Okay. This I tell you is a menace.
I want us to come to Mheshimiwa Kajuju. You are leading the committee, the parliamentary committee on this Mira issue, saga. 2 things perhaps you should talk about. Does your mandate include the other effects, medical and other, or you're just looking at whether it's a drug or it's not? Okay. Are you looking at the whole impact of Mira as a phenomenon?
Yeah. Sorry. First of all, let me tell you that Mohamed Diriye came to my committee and gave us his part of the story. Right. Actually, today he's supposed to give us a report that shows that the effects of Mira in his community. So the fact that we have not visited Wajir does not mean that we have locked Wajir out.
They're coming in.
He came and testified, and he's forwarding a report to the committee today. So whatever issues that he has and his community has will be reflected, I'm hoping, in that report. Because when he came to testify, he never gave us any statistics, just as he's not giving us now. Our mandate is quite huge. When we sat the first time, we did our terms of reference. Among the terms of reference that we're looking at is to investigate and inquire into the effects of Mira. So over and above all the legal issues that we shall recommend to the National Assembly, that's why we called Professor Kibwage. We have called doctors, and we've called Madari Hospital, we've called Nakanda, all the stakeholders. We want to hear from them, what are these effects? What are the negative effects, if any, about Mira, so that in our reporting to the House, we are able to tell them, this is what we found out, and this is what we found out, make a decision, whether we need to regulate Mira as a crop, whether we need to legalize, whether we need to warn the consumers, as we do it on the packet of cigarettes, that smoking is harmful to your health.
Yes.
Is there a way that we can package Mira and indicate excessive use of Mira causes effects? Because now we can't say. And in any event, Makali, Mira, no one forces you to consume Mira. You know, that is a tragedy.
Yes,
no one forces his constituents. And I think it is a minority view, because we have so many MPs from that county who have not complained about Mira. They have not heard them.
I guess they are consumers. I don't know whether Mheshimiwa is a consumer.
He used to, actually, he used to consume. I don't know what happened. So really, we should allow this debate to go on and let the National Assembly make a decision on the path that we should take for Mira.
Yeah. So perhaps as we wind up, Mohamed?
First, you see, the committee, Honorable Florence Kajuju led committee, actually is a good committee. They're doing good work. But you see, I think where maybe they're not getting right is this is not a scientific committee, committee. That even when they are saying they are trying to investigate whether Mira is a drug or not a drug, they can't. These are politicians put together. So you see, You shouldn't even speak whether Mira is a drug or not a drug. All they can do is to refer to the various research, various, findings done. And I even said the pharmacy and poison drug, if you read the World Health Organization articles, international narcotic drugs, and all these, if you go back, as way back in the 1960s, even during the colonial period, Mira actually was banned not as a crop. One time it was put as a crop, but then again, the reality was seen, then it was put as not a crop. So actually this committee, because this is a political committee, it's unfortunate that this, whole Mira debate has taken a political angle. There's nothing scientific and research about it. So,
let me
and
that
because honestly speaking, I'm a politician. If Nakada, and I read before the Mutudo was Nakada, you read it, all the articles, all their findings, they say Mira is a drug. But now this issue of the two aspects are coming out clearly, which actually, are actually not very good. One is just considering the economic and the business and the money we get from Mira without considering the harmful effect, the victims, and the effects on the people. Two, the Mira debate being politicized, and politicians are saying that we are trying to check whether it's a drug or not. Yet already our scientific agencies have already done their part.
It doesn't help though before you speak.
To correct that,
yes, before you speak. It doesn't help that you're actually the chair of that committee, and then you are from the same committee that is producing the Mira.
Yes,
Does it?
Mohamed Diriye,
Yes.
he wrote a letter to the committee saying that I should not be the chair of that committee because I come from a community that produces Mira. Now, I moved a motion in the National Assembly. If I declared my interest, because what the law requires as an MP is you declare your interest, understanding under number 90. I said I come from a community that it grows Mira, and he never opposed my proposal to be the chair.
But you can see your position even as...
tyranny of numbers.
Second aside even the chair and the declaration of your interest, you can clearly see that the chair even supports Mira.
Can you imagine?
You say, Makali, what I did is to declare my interest.
Okay.
Mheshimiwa should have been there to say...
You should have moved aside beyond declaring interest.
No,
so that a
the law
person,
does not...
say a chairperson should have been taken from a Kisi constituency who doesn't grow Mira, doesn't consume it. So we have an objective assessment and report.
Why do you move a motion in the House? It is for any person to challenge the motion.
Yeah.
My Good Friday was not there to challenge. If you look at the answered proceedings, Mheshimiwa did not contribute to oppose my position. So I'm rightfully a chair of the committee. And it is dishonorable for Mheshimiwa to say this committee is political. No committee that is created by Parliament is political. Committees of Parliament are committees of Parliament, like any other.
Okay.
Then
I was saying, do they have this committee? Capacity. If you want to identify Mira as a drug, Florence Kajuju, you're supposed to go to a laboratory, maybe, as we're saying, analyze these active ingredients of Mira. If this committee can do that and sit in a laboratory on a microscope, and analyze chemicals, maybe I would have said this committee, yes, can say Mira is a drug or not. Why I was saying is a political, because one, they are politicians. Two, they are not engaged in scientific research. All we are asking, and actually, by the way, it's true, I wrote a letter saying that she should dismiss herself, but later on, I know she has good intention. I said, I have no problem, she's the one. All we are saying is she becomes objective and become unbiased. We have no problem. We have no problem with her leadership here.
It's just, when is this committee finishing its work? Because I remember it was on the floor of the House and you're asking for more time.
Extension.
When are we finishing?
We were granted up to the 7th of December. We are going to submit our report to the House for debate before the 7th of December. But then this committee has the power to call for evidence, expert evidence. That is what committees are for. So whatever scientific evidence that we require as a committee, we don't have to be an expert in anything. We just call the experts to come and give us their testimony. Then we pick it up from there and run with it.
Will the committee vote for adoption of certain recommendations?
That is up to the committee. I don't make a decision as a chair. I give direction to the movement of the committee.
Perhaps from an analytical perspective, what would you,
I
say
think
about this whole
the controversial aspect is that, as I spot Mheshimiwa, that it's already, this committee is comprised of politicians who have already taken sides. The matter is being looked at highly from the commercial implications of banning Mira. The social impact and effects are really, I think, taking the back burner on it. That is what I see from what is going on so far. But I think Mheshimiwa Florence is saying she'll acquit herself well as chair and render a good report, devoid of the political interest of her constituents and the tyranny of numbers.
Yes. All right, so that's just about it. Many thanks indeed for your comments. We totally appreciate talking to Honorable Mohamed Diriye, Wajir South Member of Parliament, and of course Honorable Florence Kajuju, Women Representative, Mira County. We'll be right back. Don't go away.